Just had Holly come out today. She has her 3 dogs, her 3 Cotons, and this was her second session. We've got 1 person training 3 dogs, so she's doing the work, definitely doing the work. So there takes some commitment to do that, and so we got to commend Holly a lot for being able to, for stepping up and helping her situation. But she had some stress and some behavior she didn't like, and so that's why she's looking to work through training and things. So today being a second session, we're following on with the leash work, meaning we really want our dogs to be able to follow leash guidance willingly and not try to oppose. If you think about before training, most people that have their dogs are usually pulling on the leash. If we have that, the dog is opposing what we want. It's kind of like tug of war all the time, and that's not fun. So today, second session was to help Holly learn a little bit more about how we can get her dogs to do different things with leash guidance. And so that would be recalls, and then also the stationary work, your sit command and your down command. At this point, usually it's good for people to still be working on what they learned in the first session as far as good technique on walks, because the leash technique is also new for people as well. But Holly's doing a great job. She's committed, she's working through it, and her next session will be her first e-collar. So looking forward to that. So what we really want to be able to have is the ability to move, our dogs follow, and we can stop our dog stops. Like when you push the brakes down on a car and it stops real easy, versus pushing the brakes down in a truck that has a big heavy trailer and it won't stop, it's kind of pushing forward. A lot of times the dog can feel like they're trying to be the truck pushing forward when you're trying to slow them down with the leash. To communicate that, we want to be able to communicate through that leash and have it make sense to our dogs. If we do any kind of steady pulling, that's where opposition reflex can happen, right? So if we pull on a dog's leash, the dog wants to oppose. It's kind of like a reflex. They do it quickly without thinking about it. And so we're looking to bypass that. Step forward and I go to slow down. I'm going to slow down with a little tap and the leash is done. It's relaxed, right? With Tundra, if I walk and I slow down and stop, the leash tap there, and I want to make sure that from the front of my leg and to the side, he's behind that glass wall. If I have a dog there, it's easy to maintain. But when our dog walks in front of us, trying to get them to pull less, we might feel like we're nagging. All right, so that's our walking review, right? So now I move on to a recall, and that's where he's away. Tundra, come. Good boy. There we go. Good. Tundra, come. Leash tap. Add some encouragement. Good boy. Tell him good boy. Have him land in front of me. There we go. Prevent the turn away. Good. There we go. Just like that.
Tundra, come.
Now shorten that leash. And then stand in front, and then good boy. But if he anticipates a thing that he thinks you're gonna say, prevent it, right? So say I walk past this cot, I'm gonna prevent it. Right? I'm gonna start trying to prevent it a little bit more. Now, he really wants to get on there, and I prevent it, and now he's like, why? Why? I'm like, well, Tundra, because we were together, and I'm going over there, and I still want us to be together. We're going over there. We're not doing this, we're doing that. So if he anticipates incorrectly, help him, because that'll help him differentiate, right? It's still a loss of attention. Even though that's the thing we taught him, that is still, now that's my distraction. When I want him to walk with me, that's a distraction. So if we help him through it, he'll get used to it and go, oh, I still gotta listen. He won't freak out when you tell him. So here, if I walk past it, and he wants to get on it and I prevent, now he's like, yep, CJ, thanks for telling me last time. This time was easier. Now I have an understanding about what you want. So, all right. So now with this, I'm just gonna practice a sit with him real quick and see how Mr. Tundra handles it. But what I'm doing is I'm just lifting that leash and I'm waiting patiently. Lift the leash, I'm waiting patiently. Just about every dog we've ever trained, lift the leash, the butt goes down. Dogs relax. So a lot of times dogs will try to fight the accountability and withstand it to get what they want. Think about this. We go for a walk, we have a dog that pulls. The person is pulling back. The dog is pulling forward. The dog is fighting the accountability of the leash to get what they want. And a lot of times dogs learn that at the highest level of proficiency. And that knowledge the dog has, that fighting hard against the leash allows them access to whatever they want in the world, especially when we're outside the house, can lead into he's going to do the same thing to not do a sit because he wants to get what he wants. Or he's, in other words, learned that the only way to do life is to oppose any kind of guidance, unless we got cheese. But we're not walking around with cheese. We want him to be able to loosen up on that grip he has on the concept of resisting everything you say, right? And be able to relax and fall down into a sit. Sometimes it just takes a little bit of patience or a lot of patience. Sometimes if we're just doing it at home, we might have to kill time. The thing is to stick with it. CJ wants me to sit, and he provides the follow through until we do. So in other words, I can get out of sitting all the time, except for when CJ does it. He's basically learning that there is no getting out of doing the sit, but I'm also waiting patiently. So I'm just waiting for him to connect the dots to his understanding. So right now, he's thinking about it. When he connects the dots to his understanding, and then he does it, the leash pressure goes away, and he goes, oh, that's the answer. So when I relax my butt down, the leash pressure goes away. If I release the leash pressure at the same time every time, then in a sense, he starts learning how to control it. He's not in control of it. I am, you are. But in a sense, he's like, oh, if I want the leash pressure to go away, I just relax into a sit. A lot of dogs already know how to sit when we say it. I'd say almost 100% of all dogs that are older than 12 weeks old, when they come here, already have responded to a sit command when we say it, right? When the owner says it. Everyone teaches that usually first thing. But the problem is that there's always a point where the dog doesn't do the command. And that's where a person might say it again. They might say it again. They might say it louder. They might say it more sternly. They might emphasize. They might say it with a hint of frustration in their tone. They might be mad now, right? And now they might start pushing on the dog's butt. And so at a certain point, if the dog doesn't do it when we say verbally, we start pressuring the dog physically. A lot of times dogs learn we push the butt down, they push the butt back up. Now we have more opposition. The dog actually is being trained to push up instead of relax the hips down. What we're doing is we're taking an input that for just about every dog gets them to relax. So lifting that leash, he's thinking about it. I don't know what this means. It's brand new. CJ didn't say the word, right? And then he finally relaxes, leash pressure goes away. I do it every time. He starts going, oh, when I feel that with the leash, I just relax and the pressure goes away, and now we have him responding right away, right? Do enough reps and the dog starts to relax right when you go like that. How are you feeling at this point?
I'm very thankful for you.
Good. So I didn't overwhelm you today?
I'm okay.
Okay, good, good. I'm here for you, so if throughout you have questions, call or text. Don't hesitate.